I don't know. Like I tell people, you know, my mind is for my heart is for Joshua, but my mind goes to Klitschko. You
really?
know, I personally, I don't think Joshua was ready for that. You know, for Klitschko, as far as the experience part of it. If you see all the opponent he's faced, and now you look at a Klitschko, somebody that's more accomplished fighter, or I say a complete fighter, that'll face a lot of people. You know, even Klitschko himself, we can argue about certain opponents that he faced coming up. You know, he don't have a list of a massive, you know, killers on his resume either, because, you know, it was time he was coming. You see him fighting, we like, who the hell is he? Well, his name as well too. So, you know, but just the experience of it, you know, experience will take you a long, long way, especially when you know how to use it. And Klitschko been around the block. You know, he held the sport down for almost down there a decade and a half. So that right there speaks volumes for itself. And that's my only issue with it, you know, with Klitschko having a higher experience. And he's, you know, we can say he's old, but he's still in the county. All it takes is you have to have your mind has to be sporting, and you have to have a strategy going into war. And I think that, you know, the opponents Joshua have faced, you know, it doesn't compare to Klitschko and stuff like that, and the experience. But we all know this is boxing. This is boxing, and in the heavyweight division, all it takes is one punch. And so that's what makes the heavyweight division so intriguing and so exciting, because you can get those two different calibers of fighters with two different experience under their belt, and, you know, both guys have the same opportunity as the other guy, because this is the heavyweight division and it's based on power. So that's why it's so exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. You know, again, like I said, my heart go with Joshua, but my mind go with Klitschko. But at the end of the day, may the best man win, and may God bless both of them guys where they can come inside the ring and come out the same way they came in.
You know, just because you're a big guy too, just like Klitschko, what's the one thing you got to look out for when you fight another big guy like that? I mean, I know you fought everyone. You fought guys that are big, guys that are smaller than you, and whatnot. But when you're fighting another big guy, is there anything in particular that Klitschko does well, or is there anything that Joshua could take advantage of? Kind of the same way that because Tyson Fury was another big guy that fought Klitschko too, and it seemed like Klitschko struggled with him a little bit more than anybody else.
Right. I think Klitschko struggled with Fury more than anybody else, not only because of the height, you know, but the awkward style that he displayed as well too. You know, you got to keep in mind that Klitschko has that European style. You know, that robotic. Most European fighters have that robotic-looking style, so with Fury, he came with an awkward, elusive style that Klitschko is not used to, and you know, Klitschko is the type of fighter that wants you right there in front of him, you know, with little head movement, so that way he can set you up for his big right hand, because that's basically what he looks for. You know, Klitschko gets so excited at times in the fight that you will see him shaking his right hand. You know, at times. And if you ever sparred him, you will see it even more that this is what he's trying to set up. This is what he's trying to set up. So, you know, with Fury, he was everywhere. He couldn't really position. Klitschko didn't even really have time to position his feet, because every time he had to change position of feet, because Fury was doing it. He was moving back and forth, giving them different angles, moving his head, stuff like that, you know, and that what made it the fight what it was, because in boxing, we all know that styles make fight, and that will forever be. The style of a person would dictate what fight it would be, you know, and for that reason, that's what it came out to be, you know, because if we go back and see Klitschko with a Pavakin, then we were like, oh my God, this is one of the best of Klitschko we've seen. You know, he showed so much in that fight. And then when you come down to a Brian Jennings, he started to slow down a little bit. He started to say, wait a minute, now he looking like he's a little old a little bit. And then when you come on to even more Tyson Fury that's even taller, You know, because Jennings wasn't that tall, so Klitschko was able to still manage to do his little thing that he does, the hold and grab and clinch up stuff. But with a tall fighter, that eliminates a lot of things. That's what the thing about with tall fighters, it eliminates a lot. You know, certain things that you can do with a smaller guy, you can't do that no more. So now you're going to have to find another way. You know, and the only thing with taller fighters is the thing you have to watch out for is being that if you make a mistake, that you can be punished for your mistake. And that's the only thing about it. That's the only thing about tall fighters that we're cautious, and what makes us hesitant at certain times, that if we make a mistake, we know that this guy can punish us. Due to the smaller guys, we can make certain mistakes and get away with it because they're not going to be able to reach us, or we can be able to do a certain thing to keep them back at bay. But with a taller fighter, it's different. You know, so it always makes an interesting fight when you got two heavyweights that's tall going up against each other, because it's a 50-50 fight. You don't know who's going to win.
Does that help that they sparred before? I mean, does that help either one of them, or does that even matter?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot. I mean, it helps a lot. The more and more you spar a person, the more and more it seems like you're getting to know that person. You know, each and every time you spar that person, you know their style, you know how they move in different situations. You know what they're gonna do if they get, just say, backed up to the ropes, or they get tired, or certain different looks. See, we feed off of looks. We feed off of energy and the way you can present yourself in the ring. Certain things like that we feed off of, and we can see. So, you know, with sparring, that displays the same thing in sparring too. That you don't want to show everything when you spar in the fight. You just want to show enough or whatever. You never want to show all your tricks in your bag, because you may one day have to fight that person. You know, and there's been guys that I've sparred with, and then I had to fight in the ring. And sometimes when you spar a person, and you all of a sudden have to fight that person, you never forget that spar. No matter how long it was, that sparring always come in your mind, and that opponent, and the two opponents always remember, like, damn, we sparred each other before, so we kind of know each other a little bit, and so we'll see what happens from there. So, you know, both of them feeling good about each other. They know each other's styles from sparring from each other, so it should be a good fight, you know, while it lasts.